What's up, guys? Welcome back to castironworkouts.com, the podcast with me, Darrell Lutz. And this is
Mike. I'm here.
Yeah, Mike's here. All right, he's here. What's the matter, Mike?
I'm feeling better than I was 20 minutes ago. But, oh my God, today was brutal.
You look better than you did 20 minutes ago.
Oh God.
Took a little bit longer to set up for this podcast than what it normally does. Mike just had a fun-filled every minute on the minute workout with some burpees and kettlebell swings, and I made him graduate today and use a little bit heavier kettlebell. How was your experience with that today, Mike?
That was tough.
Yeah.
It was hard.
Yeah, no, it
very, very sweaty, and ankles and shins just shot. It's like,
yeah, Mike wasn't happy with me. Mike wasn't happy with me at one point in the workout. If you're watching this, he kind of went, gave me one of those, and okay, I'm going to stop talking to you now.
keep getting in my space. Walking in my area.
Yeah, so Mikey had a good one this morning, so we wore him out a little. So if he starts to doze off during this episode, I'm just going to keep kind of talking, and I'll wake him up.
Yeah, just keep rolling. It'll be fine.
Yeah, all right. Today we're going to talk to you guys a little bit about working out and how to get started working out. You know, this is something that more people struggle with than I think a lot of people realize, and I know more than what I used to realize. I always thought of working out as this thing where it's fun, and I'm going to make time for it no matter what, and I've always enjoyed it. So for me, it's always been a thing where it kind of comes easy, right? And I know for a lot of people it just doesn't. It's one of those things that it's hard, it's stressful, it's it's a tough thing for a lot of people. Where people struggle a lot of times is not like I said, not knowing where to start, right? Is they don't know what to do, what the best thing is that they can do. A lot of times they're not sure how to make time for it. Right? A lot of people think of working out as this whole process of, okay, well, I've got to have the right gym clothes. I've got to have time to drive to the gym. I've got to take a class or have a trainer or have this 2-hour window set aside every day to where I can do what I need to do. And it's, it becomes this huge thing. And then there's so many obstacles that they kind of build and put in their way to stop them from starting, right? And what the message is that we're trying to get across today is it doesn't matter who you are, what you're capable of, what you have access to, the amount of time you have, it's possible to do something, right? And I think that's something that I think a lot of people, or I hope a lot of people realize after watching this, right, is I don't need a ton of time. It can be simple. Right? And it's usually when I tell people that are first starting out is start simple. Start with something a task that you can accomplish. Even if that's something as simple as walking, right? Walking for 10 minutes, a couple times a day. That's fantastic. Right? That's fantastic. It's a great way to start. It's doing something that is positive to move your body daily. I just put a post up on Instagram, what was that, 2 days ago, about physical gratitude, right? And I know you saw it, and we talked about it like right after I put it up. And it's one of those things where I kind of put a challenge out there to people. Everybody loves to buy into challenges and this 30-day, 60-day, 90-day, and everybody loves to post things about what they're doing on Instagram and Facebook. So why not do something that's positive? And this physical gratitude challenge, what I'm telling people to do is post something each day. Post a picture of something that you've done that day that you are grateful for that you were able to do. Even if it's just get out and go for a walk. Even if it's, hey man, I got up today and I could use my legs and I could walk downstairs. You know what I mean? Be thankful for that stuff. Because that type of mindset and that type of momentum, you can build off of that. Right? And I know it's like for you, Mikey, I know you were a runner originally, right? And when you first started running, like you weren't running 10, 15 miles a day, right?
No.
Okay, where did you start?
I don't think I tapped into how far I could push. I just knew I was light, kind of lanky. So I was like, I'm kind of good at it. I feel comfortable doing this. And,
right. Right.
And that's just how it started. Just doing it.
Right.
And then you do something enough, and you develop more.
Right.
And that was just all on my own.
Okay. Yeah, so it doesn't have to be, like I was saying, it doesn't have to be anything that's to start. I'm just talking about exercise. I'm not talking about training for an event or anything like that. I don't want people to think, well, hey, yeah, I want to be an Olympic lifter, and you said, yeah, I could just go for a walk. That's a whole different type of animal. I'm talking about just being physically fit and getting in better shape, right? And for most people, that's usually what the goal is. For the people that I've had come in and out of the gym over the last 17 years, it's people who, everybody's kind of got that common theme of goals. Yeah, I want to feel better. I want to look a little bit better. I want to be a little bit more fit. I want to be able to have more energy, be a little bit more active. Well, where do you start, guys? You just start moving your body. And like I said, it doesn't take a long time. Those couple walks a day. And you want to make things more intense? Okay, take 5 minutes and do as many burpees as you can in 5 minutes. 5 minutes. That's all it takes. I don't know if you guys have ever done
that's all. That's all. 30 minutes, he said.
Yeah, just like Mike's email today. No, just an easy 30 minutes, Mike. But seriously, it doesn't take a long time. Yeah, you need to plan it out and think about it a little bit beforehand, but it's just doing something, right? And kind of getting rid of that, like the built up, I don't know what the word is I'm looking for here, but just kind of the boundaries of like, oh my God, I've got to have all this time. I've got to have all the right stuff. And all that stuff helps, but you can get away with just doing something.
I think getting goals down, it works for me.
Right.
And then kind of filling in the middle on how to reach that goal. So right now, I'd like to do pull-ups again. So aside from coming in here, if I really wanted to target that, then there are things along the way that I could do. With your coaching, you could provide for me, to reach that goal. So like how you're talking about getting started, with walking, I could fill in that gap from point A to point B with other things. So even burpees, that's a great example, 5 minutes of burpees, maybe for somebody that's 20 or, and their step ups. Well, over time, with effort, they're going to do a little better, a little better, a little better. But yeah, I think for me, writing down goals as big as you want, and then figuring out what goes between point A and point B.
For sure. And that's something that, I always recommend to people. It's, when you're starting out, when you're doing anything, and, Mike and I I was just kind of joking before we went on about like all the different notebooks that I have, right? I'm that person, I handwrite everything. And, I was going through and I see some ideas of workouts that I have and I'm writing them down. And, but I'm that person who, I'm a firm believer in, you should track everything, right? Write down what you did today for your workout today. And have those goals of what you want to meet, but make sure you track, right? That way you can look back and see what you've done in the past, but you can also build off of that. And that's a huge driving force and a huge motivator. A lot of times when you look back to what you did a month ago, like, say, I'm just going to use an example of running a mile and let's say you ran a mile a month ago and it was 10 minutes, right? And then you did it again, let's say yesterday, and all of a sudden it's a 9:30 mile. Well, 30 seconds off a mile, holy crap, that's fantastic, right? Just being able to look back and see that progress that you're making is big. Write it down. There's a lot to be said for that, right? Just making sure that you are keeping track of what you are doing, right? But yeah, with getting started, have an idea of when you want to do this stuff too. Like I said, you write stuff down, plan it out, right? Like it doesn't take a long time. Maybe it is, like I said, maybe it's 10 minutes that you have during a day. Maybe it's 15, maybe it's 20. Hey, maybe you're lucky enough to have that hour that you can set aside to work out every day. Whatever it is, schedule that. Schedule it with yourself, right? Because it's easy to go, okay, say today I'm looking at tomorrow and I go, okay, I'm going to work out tomorrow. But I don't give myself a time. Right? I just say, hey, yeah, I'm gonna work out tomorrow. That's pretty vague, right? And then tomorrow comes and I wake up and who knows? I don't have the time set, so I wake up a little bit later than normal. It takes me longer to get here. I get home from work, I'm tired. I don't have that time already set aside. I should probably, do some chores around the house. I should do this, I should do that. Well, you're going to have all these shoulds, and you didn't set that time aside. It wasn't scheduled. You're probably going to end up not working out. Schedule it, right? Schedule it with yourself. That's going to help you stay on track, right? That's a huge thing, like especially when you first start. Build it into your schedule. Because if it's not built in, you're probably not going to do it, right? So schedule. Make sure you guys schedule. Like I was saying about the time aspect of things, you don't need a ton of time, right? If you're worried about, well, right now it's kind of tough because not a lot of gyms are open. We are here doing outdoor classes, right? We got outdoor classes going on a few times a day, and I'm thankful that we have that opportunity to do that. But for a lot of people, that's even still coming to the gym is tough because now they got time to drive to the gym, time to get home. Let's be real, a lot of people, I gotta get ready to go to the gym. It's like, holy crap, man. I understand that can be a long process. So if that is too much time out of your day, maybe you should be working out at home then. Maybe you should invest in some dumbbells, a kettlebell, just some stuff that you can use at home. If you want to get stronger, get a barbell and a squat rack, but really think out what your goals are and the time commitment that you have that you can dedicate to, and set everything else up that you're doing off of that, right? What else, Mikey? What do you got?
I have some notes that I don't have in front of me because I'm not prepared.
Mike's a loser. Mike's a loser.
But for me, I think back to when I first started coming here. I live about 25 miles away, and there were closer places, options that I could work out in. And as somebody who's never been to any kind of gym before, when I was looking for something else, I started, without knowing it, but visualizing what would make me feel comfortable to be, what environment do I want? And for me, figuring that out, this was good. I like to drive over here. That worked for me. Some people closer to home and where they are. But I think visualizing what you think would work for you is important too. So getting those details out can move you in the right direction, because you have to be comfortable with what you're doing and showing up. And in order to unlock that commitment and I think those successful steps in achieving your goals, you got to be comfortable. So once, just that was big for me.
Right. And it's another one of those things, right, where you don't want that extra roadblock in your way, right? It's got to be convenient, I guess is the best way to put it. It's got to be convenient with your schedule. It's got to be convenient with your time. It's got to be convenient with cost. It's got to be convenient with all these different things that work for you. And when you, like I said, we're talking about starting, right? When you first start, the more convenient you can make things, the more likely you are to stick to it, right? If it's hard for you to go, oh my God, I got to dedicate this much time, or it's too far, or it's cost too much, or it's whatever, you're going to find the excuse not to.
Yeah, those roadblocks you're putting up. So break those down.
Yeah, for sure.
For me, it was better to come out a little further. I like the drive over. For some people, maybe down the street is better, or whatever gym. But that's what worked for me, and I couldn't have been successful if I didn't feel comfortable. And I think that's true for everybody. You got to find what's right for you.
Right, for sure. I think, and that's something too. There's so many, like I said, the roadblocks people put up for themselves, right? And whether it's the time commitment, whether it's whatever, there's a bunch, but those are usually the common ones. The other ones that I see too are the one I've seen, like with people coming to the gym here, or even people that have inquired about cast iron workouts, right? Is they go, well, I'm not in shape enough to do this. And that's the one that always makes me laugh is, you know, you need to get in shape to get in shape. And I understand what these people are saying. They think that's a little too intense for them, right?
I've done it. I've thought it.
Right.
After working out, you know, 2.5 solid years coming here and then taking a break at times, I would tell myself, all right, I got to go run, you know, 3 times this week before I go back. You know?
Right. And part of that too, like knowing your personality too, is you and I have a pretty good relationship, right? Like with a coach and a member, and it's I always push Mike pretty hard, right? And it's the shit, I don't want to disappoint coach, still what I can't do or what I can do type of thing, right? And I always tell people is, you know, everybody has a starting point. So start where you are, right? Who gives a shit where you start? I mean, like, that's one of the things, like, we take pride in here, like, as coaches. Something that I take pride in, like, with castironworkouts is we are constantly giving modifications for people, right? And that could go both ways. It's people who are starting out who are not in the shape that they want to be in. So it's like, hey, here's something a little bit easier. Here's a way to make things a little bit easier on you when you first start. Now, when I say easier on you, I'm just talking about movements that you can do. I'm talking about modifying to the types of equipment that you have, and just helping you move comfortably through a workout and being able to get through a workout. That goes 2 ways too, because we have people, even like, especially here at the gym, that I will program workouts and go, all right, well, this person can do this, you know, and they're a little bit more advanced where I can turn it up on them too. Those modifications can go from, you know, modifying to make things easier to modifying to make things harder, right? Which is, it's always fun to do. It's always fun to do. You know, it was like yesterday's workout here, right, at the gym. We had the option of an 800-meter run or a mile run. And the reason I did that was we have people who are not, I don't want to say not runners, but they're not comfortable running. 800 meters is hard for them, right? And then I have people who can come in and consistently run 7.5-minute miles. Well, guess what you're going to do? I'm going to push you to do that extra distance and push a little bit harder of a pace there, right? I don't know. So I know I'm getting off on a little bit of a tangent about modifications and things like that, but
well, that ties into getting started because, you know, you talk about the simplicity of like getting active, and you use going for a walk as an example. Well, same thing. Get your butt in a gym and show up. Get through that time slot that you've gotten that far. Now get through that time slot and whatever's in front of you, do the activity. It'll build from there. If you could get that far, same thing with the home workouts. You know, you got a few pieces of equipment, do a couple workouts at home. They're not going to be CrossFit game status, you know, when you start, but if you get through them, you start feeling, it's like education, you know, you just start being more comfortable. Yeah.
It's momentum, dude. And that's 100% it, right? And that's, you know, on different levels with different people, like, the more momentum you can build, the better, right? And like for me, I said that's why, like, I know it seems so funny, but I don't take days off working out because I like to keep that momentum rolling. Even if it's a light day, I'm going to force myself to do something, right? Run, do 100 push-ups that day, 100 body weight squats. When I say 100, I'm not knocking on 100 in a row. I'm breaking them up, but I'm forcing my body to move and keep that momentum going because that's where, like, for me, and that's another big thing is I think people don't really see, or they underestimate the true benefits of working out and getting started. It's that mental, right? And that's something that when people first start and they get that momentum going, you see, I can physically see a shift in people where it's like mentally they're in a better place. They're feeling better. You know, they're probably starting to look a little bit better. They're just in a better headspace overall. And I think that's a super underrated thing when people start working out, you know, so yeah. You know, something that I had here too, I'm kind of looking down at my notes, is a lot of people, you know, what stops them from starting is they feel like they don't have enough experience or they don't have enough knowledge or, you know, it just kind of holds them back from getting that start, right? It's another roadblock for people. If you don't and you have access, get a coach, you know, and you know, I said, if you're not a member of castironworkouts.com, you know, hey, come see us. We're going to give you some examples of stuff. If it's not for you, cool. We've got demo videos on YouTube you can check out that are free. Look at some of that stuff. Like I said, it doesn't need to be complex when you first get started. Now, you need to know what you're doing and do it correctly, right? And do things the right way. But you're usually never wrong if you just start moving your body.
Yeah.
Right? If your goal is to get fit, just move your body. Right? That's what you're meant to do. You're not meant to sit on your butt all day and watch Netflix. How many episodes?
6.
6. Yeah. When did that series come out?
Apparently,
when did it stop? No,
I didn't know.
So there's a show on Netflix if you guys haven't seen it.
Yeah, give them a shout out.
It's called Last Chance U. Last Chance U, like Last Chance University. And this season is on Laney College football, which my nephew Jack is on that team. So he's on there, number 54, if you guys watch the show. He's not one of the main storylines, but you do see Jack walking around with his big old head and bobbing around in the background, playing linebacker. But it's a cool show. It came out a couple days ago, and Mike it came out on Tuesday. Mike goes, "Hey man, have you seen this show?" I go, "Yeah, Jack's on it." He goes, "Oh, okay, yeah." And he goes, "Have you watched it yet?" I said, "No, I'm going to watch one tomorrow or something." I said, "What?" And I asked Mike, I said, "Have you watched it?" He goes, "Yeah, I watched 4 episodes already." I'm like, "Mike, it just came out this morning." Like, what? So this morning, the very next day.
Did you believe me if I said I did a bunch of push-ups while I was watching?
No, not at all.
I didn't.
Not at all. Now I know you're lying. But would you say you're 6 episodes in now?
6 in, yeah.
Yeah, 6 out of 8. Good job.
Thanks.
Mike's got goals, guys. We talked about writing down your goals. We know one of mine.
Overachiever.
No, but it's a cool show, guys. Check it out. But yeah, Nephew Jack. What's up, Nephew Jack? Hopefully, he's watching this. So anyways, guys, talking about, kind of got off track there, but talking about, getting started. And another thing that I had here, I'm just kind of, again, glancing down at my notes. A lot of people, when they first start, they see a lot of things out there on social media, right? This is where a lot of people get their information, is Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, and all these different places. And they see a lot of, your Instagram models and fitness professionals, I use that term very, very loosely, putting out a ton of information about working out, workouts, different programs, and, I'm going to say, be careful with what you're looking at there. I've been a person who, even like I said, being in this industry for a long time and having a fair amount of knowledge with training and coaching and programming, and I get nervous posting stuff on social media. And if you guys haven't noticed that over the years, you people who do know me and have followed me and what I do, I don't put out a ton of stuff. And I know I should be putting out more and just trying to, help people as much as possible. But I kind of overthink what I'm putting out. And I see a lot of what is put out there by other fitness professionals. And that's why I don't put things out, is I see the stuff that they're putting up and I'm going, oh my God, why are you telling people this? Like, no, stop.
Oh, you see like we were talking the other day, you see the classes.
Right.
They're taking a video of the class and you see the movements and you go, that's not how we... And then you think about the objective, aside from what each class does, you think the objective, and it's like a squat that does that.
Right. The quarter squats. Yeah. Any movement, right? And yeah, I know for me, like, I'll look at stuff like that and I'll see other gyms post videos and they're putting up, demos, even demonstrational videos of things, and I'm going, please stop telling people this. Please, for the love of God, stop telling people this. So I kind of overthink things myself, and go, oh my God, I don't want to be that guy who's posting random stuff. And so yeah, I know it's just kind of be careful with what you guys are looking at and what you guys are following, especially if you're first starting, right? If you are somebody who's first starting out and you like to lift and you're watching power lifters, well, that's awesome. That's great. But you probably shouldn't be jumping into the same program that, your top power lifters in the world are doing. Just kind of be smart when you're starting in that realm or aspect, right? Is, it's know what you're getting into, know what you're capable of, and like I said, I'm going to push everybody to move their bodies in as many ways as possible and as much as possible, but do it safe, right? Do it safe. Like, don't be crazy, Mike.
Okay.
All right, so what do you got for me, Mike?
Well, we're talking about getting started, how to get started. I feel like this past, 6 weeks I'm back now?
Try about 8, but...
Really?
Yeah.
Really?
No.
I missed the first week.
Let me think. Yeah, about 6 weeks.
Sorry, so
about 6 weeks.
I feel like I am starting from point A all over again because of how much time I was out. 6 years ago when I started here, I was maybe 165. Coming back 6 weeks ago, 205. And I lost a lot of that muscle and progress that I built up that first 2.5 years. And it's different. My body is completely different. So I feel like I'm struggling in different ways all over again. And that's a little rough for me because, I don't let it get to me because I think I'm smarter than that to let it frustrate me. But it's like, man, I used to do, this. And now I see the long road ahead. So just to get back to where I was and really just feeling how I'm working through these movements. So it took a lot to consistently get back, and I had to get myself back. Unfortunately, this whole shelter in place and the shutdown, it benefited my schedule to be able to come back, because that had a lot to do with me not being here too. But mentally, starting that engine again and getting back in here was tough.
Well, that's a hard thing too, man. Like when you're coming back, especially for somebody who's done it before, right? And this is probably going to hit home with a lot of people, and it hits home with me. I go through different phases and cycles of training myself still to this day, and I'm in decent shape, right? And I'll get into something that I haven't done in a while, right? I go, okay, now, my goals are constantly changing. And it's restarting, right? I'm like, okay, my goal right now, let's say, is to increase my squat, right? I want to get my legs stronger, and I got to do this, and I'll get back under a squat bar, and it's, not get back under. It's not like I ever stopped squatting, but it's now I need to start squatting heavier, and I need to start doing these things, and then all of a sudden I'm like, well, shit, 2 years ago or 3 years ago when I was still competing, this was something I would do for 8 reps. Now 3 reps is hard, and it's hard to not compare, right?
Yeah.
It's hard to get out of that headspace.
We talked about yesterday's workout and running that mile, and I knew I couldn't do it, but I wanted to know for my reference of pace. So I asked him, how fast should I push this mile? And I asked him 7:30 or like 8:30 was the cutoff.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't think I was going to hit 7:30. Well, I ended up, not being 8:34 was more, so I just missed it. But I know that, like for my birthday, I wore a vest and I went and ran 10 miles.
Yeah.
No training.
Yeah, good idea.
It felt good at the time, but I injured myself. I was completely out of shape.
Yeah, that was prior to you coming back to the gym. I got a text like, bro, I messed my back up. What did you do? Put a vest on and I ran 10 miles. How much have you been running? No.
None. It was but so, and the times weren't terrible for that distance. So I felt like, yesterday, if I wasn't so sore, I have that 7:30 in me,
Right.
And, you explained to me what was going on, and it, there's a little frustration there, but also it's like stay the course. There's things going on right now with the training that reason that. So again, going back to starting over again and getting started, just stay the course.
Right, and that's a note here that it's my little star right there. And it's talking about like why people quit things, right? And they get started, you know, and I know that's what this episode's kind of about, but, you know, why do people quit? They quit because things get hard, right? And things aren't going as they built it up in their head to be, or according to plan, or whatever it is. And it's things will get difficult, you know, training gets hard, lifts get more challenging, right? And you're not always going to have those newbie gains, and you're not always going to be making up 30 seconds in a mile. You're not always going to be putting 50 pounds on a deadlift every time you max, and, you know, all these things that are new, these things that happen in the beginning, and, you know, things get hard, and that's like for me, like as a coach, that's where I see people quit, because things get difficult, things get tough, you know, and that's one of those things you got to remember is like, okay, things are going to get hard. Things aren't always going to be easy. They're going to, you know, they're going to challenge me. But that's where, you know, you've got to just, like Mike said, you stay the course, you stick with what you are doing and stay consistent, right? And that, again, it comes back to the momentum and building that consistency. How do you do that? You know, you take little steps, you know, and that's even like, I tell people like when they're not here at the gym, okay, you didn't come to the gym today, do something at home. Go for that walk, do something, just keep that ball rolling, you know, keep that momentum rolling. I think that's big. It is big for a lot of people, you know, and like Mike said, coming back at a different point and starting, you know, somewhere that you haven't started before and having it be harder in different ways, that can be a real head game, you know, it can be a real head game. And it's, you know, just realizing that, yeah, well, 6 years ago, you're 6 years older now. You're 40 pounds heavier, you know, from the stats you're throwing out to us 5 minutes ago. It's okay. I need to wrap my brain around that and let myself know that it's okay. That it's okay that things are hard. That doesn't mean that they're constantly going to be. It's going to be that battle. Things are definitely going to improve and they're definitely going to get better, right? But it's going to take work. It's going to take that consistency. It's going to take that momentum. It's going to take kind of everything that we talked about.
Yeah, and, you know, also consistency is very important for me because, you know, through these 6 weeks, I probably told myself at least one day each of those weeks, I'm just not going to go in. I'll take a day off. But I know that if I do that once, maybe the next week it'll be 2 days off in that week.
Yeah.
And maybe it'll be the next day too, I'll take off. So, you know, for me, it just show up. Even if it was at home, you know, like you said, stay active. You know, maybe I'll go walk a hill, go run the lake, you know, stay busy, you know, or I'm doing the other thing. I'm going the other direction.
And binge watching Netflix. You know?
Well, that's a lot of stamina too. Underappreciated ability.
Yeah. No, I'd like to tease Mike if you guys haven't realized. I like to tease everybody if you guys haven't realized. It's my way of showing love. But it's, you know, like Mike's saying, it's, you know, that momentum that we're talking about, that consistency that we are talking about is so important. It is so important. And it's crazy how quickly that can build for you. Right? And it's crazy how much that can shift everything. It can shift your mindset, right? Because I can see, like I said, as a coach, I see it in people. I see it, like I've seen it in Mike over the last 6 weeks, you know, of the coming in and having a little bit more enthusiasm now in the workouts, other than the EMOM that he did today. But, you know, seeing somebody they're starting to gain that momentum and gain that confidence to where they're feeling good. I'm not talking about the physical because you didn't look good physically today, but mentally, right? Where mentally it's like, hey man, I can stay in the fight.
Start pushing back a little more.
Yeah,
and I could feel it. Just we were doing burpees, you know, so I was able to push through it. Like I just couldn't, you know.
Right.
But that built up, and I was thinking it, you know, while I was doing it. Okay, this is better, and that springs in another new confidence because then it builds on itself. So again, you know, consistency and you talk about the mental, just pushing through. I do feel like I'm pushing back a little bit,
Yeah. And it's, you know, like I said, that staying in the fight, dude. You know, it's building that mindset of just staying in and hanging in and fighting back.
Dying.
You got anything else to add, man, for these guys that are just starting out?
I don't know. Just get started. Let us share with somebody. You know, get it out there. Verbalize it. If you can, you know, do it with somebody. Maybe not in the same, you know, house, but communicate and tell someone, oh, I did this, and have them, you know, share it with us. That sparks it too. The community aspect, I think, sparks it. It's a lot more engaging when you have that. And, you know, social media could be your friend in that we're so reachable now. Open up that community and just kind of, because then if you hear, you know, somebody did 50 push-ups, maybe you go do 51 or something. You know? Have fun with it. You know, make it fun, make it enjoyable. So I think sharing with people and building that community for yourself.
For sure. And I think that's why, like, you know, with castironworkouts.com and like even our gym here is why people really are successful, right? Is they have that, the community and that accountability, right? Is, you know, you're accountable to everybody else that's doing that workout. Even like I said, with the Cast Iron Workouts, is we get people who are doing the workouts, and I am telling them to post their times, post what you did, let us see it. And, you know, the community aspect of it is, you know, somebody else sees it and they go, hey, that's awesome, great job. And, you know, when you see somebody not posting something for a couple days, or you see somebody like that you work out with in a class here at the gym, and then they're not here for a few days, and then show back up, and you go, hey man, where you been? You know, that a little bit of accountability is huge, right? And that's where, like you said, social media comes in huge. Even if, you know, you're not doing something like working out here or training with cast iron workouts, that's where, yeah, if I'm posting that, the challenges that people do, like I get kind of bent out of shape with some of the challenges because I think some of them are ridiculous, right? But I think the benefit of things like that, of people using it as a source of accountability to where, oh man, yeah, I got to post every day for the next 60 days about what I'm doing, that's big, right? And if I'm your friend, right? Not that I'm Mike's friend.
Hypothetically.
But no, if I'm your friend and I see you posting, right, and I see that you've posted for 30 days, and you're like, yeah, 30 out of 60 days, and then I see nothing for a couple days, and all of a sudden you pop back up, I'm like, hey man, where you been? What are you doing? You know, I think that's big. I think that's good for a lot of people, you know. And I know people get a lot of shit a lot of times for posting about their workouts or whatever. I think the more positive stuff like that we can see, the better. You know, I think that's just going to help more people. Now, it doesn't have to be this thing of like, oh, I'm such a badass, I did this today, right? But
just you got it done.
Right.
Then it develops a new habit. If you know you have to, you know, plan to post, make that post.
Yeah.
You're going to want to do that workout just so you could post, you know?
Right. And that's like, I try and like myself personally, I post my PM workouts, my afternoon workouts that I do, not all of them, but I'm posting the ones that are hard. Right? And it's more because it's more for our members at the gym, even though I'm posting it cast iron workouts, is they all get a kick out of me getting my ass kicked. Right? They all think it's hilarious that like I'm doing this workout and I'm out of breath and I look like a bag of crap, and Mike's going, hell yeah, I do. Payback. But you know, so they can see that, you know, even somebody who does this every day gets their ass whooped. And it's not easy for me. It's not easy for somebody who's doing it all the time. You know, like, it's good. You know, it's good. And, you know, I think it's a positive thing. I think the more that people can show that they are doing positive things and positive stuff for themselves, especially right now, the better. You know what I mean? The better. Like, post some positive stuff. Like I said, get on that physical gratitude challenge. Post about it. I haven't seen you post yet. Why not?
Well, because I've been just grateful that I get out of here after the workouts. That's literally what I've been thinking, but I'm like, I'm not going to put that. It's like,
I'm grateful that I was able to walk to my car.
Yeah. Crawl.
I think that, use what you got, where you're at, start where you are, do what you can, get some accountability, like Mike was saying, whether it's through social media, telling your friend, call your mom, say, hey mom, I did 10 push-ups today, I'm going to do 10 every day for the next 100 days, or whatever. I'm just throwing stuff out there, guys, but do something, right? Do something. I think that's the biggest thing, is something is always better than nothing. There's a quote that's, what's the best exercise, right? Simple question. What's the best exercise? It's the one that you'll do. What's the best diet? The one that you're going to stick to, right? It's do the stuff that you can do, build that momentum, make it convenient, and just do stuff, guys. Just do something. Bitch, Mike, just do something. Anyways, guys, we got product placement here on the table today, if you guys didn't notice it. We put my book up, Whatever It Takes. It's a collection of interviews from Health, Strength, and Sport by Darrell Lutz. You guys can find this on Amazon if you guys want to check it out. It's a pretty cool book. Bunch of interviews that I put together of athletes, coaches, people in the health and fitness community. And I think we're going to do an episode actually on the book pretty soon. But yeah, check it out, guys. It's a good tool to use and see what top level athletes and coaches are doing and their mindsets about sports, nutrition, training, all that good stuff. What else, Mikey?
That's it. To you guys, let us know what you think about what we talked about today in terms of how to start. How did you get started? What's your story? What are your goals? And how do you think you're going to get there? I think that's interesting. Visualize that path. And share it with us. And follow us. Find us on social media. Email us. castironworkouts@gmail, right?
Yeah, castironworkouts@gmail. Yep, castironworkouts@gmail. You could always leave us comments. YouTube, make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel. Instagram, Facebook. Send us. You can comment. Send us direct message. Carrier pigeon, whatever you want.
Yeah.
Snail mail. No, seriously, guys, if there's anything that we can do to help you guys, let us know.
You need help getting started.
Yeah, we'll do what we can. Hopefully this episode helped you guys get a little bit better today. I know for us it was a great episode. We didn't have Rachel here, so it was fantastic. No, we're missing Rach today. She's out of town. She'll probably miss this episode, maybe the next one, but we'll have her back soon. So, Rach, if you're watching, what up? And we'll see you when you get back. Yeah, guys, hopefully you guys have a good day, and we'll see you guys soon.